Taylor Hart from Respect My Region, and today I'm sitting down with Kristen Yoder to talk about all things cannabis. I'm just feeling kind of weird because I just took a dab, so
Nice.
yeah, here we are. So I want to get started with, I want to find out what your consumption habits are like because I know that you are a long time, I believe it was 17 years that I read that you have been in the cannabis
Yeah.
industry. So yeah, I kind of want to just start off by getting a sense of like what your relationship is with the plant, what are your consumption habits, that kind of a thing.
Okay. Well, my relationship with the plant is complex because I love it. I love it so much that I recognized last year that I have a problem moderating my use. And
Okay.
I realized a while ago that I am dabs are just not good for me. I spent like 7 years just stoned as fuck,
Yeah.
and Joey knows because he was there the time that I fucking passed out in front of everyone at a rosin press event. And that was the first time I've ever been in an ambulance. And it was because I dabbed on an empty stomach.
Oh
Um,
no.
and and when I dab, like my blood sugar drops
Yeah.
always. It was the fourth time in a year that I lost consciousness after dabbing. And how do you justify that? After a while, it's like, bro, you're literally fucking passing out.
Yeah.
Where's the appeal? So I also would have to have my friends take my rig out of my house, like get it the fuck away from me because I can't not use it and I can't
Yeah.
not buy because it tastes so good. But
Agree.
I don't have a healthy relationship with concentrates. With that said, I quit last year, and
Uh-huh.
that was so horrible. I mean, I didn't even know weed was addictive, but hello, everything is. And I
Yeah.
didn't know that I would have withdrawals, but why wouldn't I when I was overloading all the time in an
Right.
unnatural way? So yeah, it was horrible. But then after 30 days of sobriety, I felt like incredible. However, I'm like a fucking angry person naturally. And I found that I started drinking margaritas and I was having trouble sleeping. I started taking sleeping pills. And then I like realized a month later, like, dude, did you just replace weed with alcohol and sleeping pills? Like,
Yeah.
this is not better. And I just don't like being sober. So in the end, I went back to cannabis, and um I've had a much different relationship with it this time.
That's good.
And yeah, so my consumption now, dude, I don't know, do you cough shit up when you smoke weed? Like, do you cough up phlegm and stuff? Because I do.
Sometimes, yeah.
I do, and it doesn't look, that's not natural, bro. Like, that's not. And when you're smoking out of a pipe, how
Yeah.
fast does the pipe get dirty? Hella fucking fast.
Right.
Why wouldn't your lungs look like that too, right? And
100%.
all my life, I've been like the most stuck up cannabis person because I've been in the industry 17 years and I would never smoke out of a pipe. I was like, ew, I'd rather be sober. And then all of a sudden, I was broke and I found that smoking joints is a fucking waste of weed and I can't afford to let the smoke just go in the air. So I started smoking out of a pipe and my ex was like, bro, boy, have the mighty fallen. I'm like, I know, dude, right? But then I start coughing shit up all the time. So I moved to the bong, and that's even more insane because when I was younger, I swallowed bong water and then I projectile vomited, and
Yes.
I was traumatized. I was like, I will never hit a bong again like pipes. I would rather be sober.
Right.
And here I am, bro, and I'm like, just all I take is bong hits because I need water to filter it because
Yeah.
I'm like too old. I'm too old for this shit.
Do you put
Um,
ice in your bong at all?
yeah. Oh my God. Okay, I have to give a shout out
What
to
a pretty bong.
Chill Steel Pipes. They bro, they're so smart. Like, I'm not a bong person because I don't like bong water or any of that. Like, the
Yeah.
first dope thing about it is
Oh
these
my
are all,
God.
yeah, changeable. Not only that, they're insulated with ceramic on the inside so you can clean them like glass. But
That's
what's
amazing.
but what's dope, because they're insulated, is you can put ice in it and it doesn't get wet or it doesn't sweat, and it
That's
stays
cool.
cold for a hella long time. But not but there's more. Um
But wait,
then
there's more.
I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed because my shit's dirty, but
Yeah.
they're removable bong stem. So it comes with like the little glass bowl. But then the bong stem is stainless steel,
Oh,
unbreakable,
shit.
right? And each it you can take it apart to make it easier to clean each section, all the
Brilliant.
way down to like, yeah. So then the bottom one has like holes in it, so you can get more of like a filtered, aerated hit.
That's amazing.
Dude, so easy to clean. It
Yeah.
has like interchangeable pieces, and yeah, like I'm not a salesperson, but I am so impressed because, dude, what is the
Yeah.
main problem with bongs? You fucking break them. Who
Yeah.
doesn't break a bong? Like that always happens, and these are like unbreakable, insulated, steel, dope. Yeah,
Yeah.
chills
And
to the pipe.
cleaning is always my hardest part. Cleaning it is always most difficult
And
because a
it's
lot of my pieces
so
are hard to
easy.
clean.
Yeah, this is so easy to like,
Yeah.
you just unscrew that shit and like swirl and rinse, and
That's amazing.
I'm obsessed. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I live off of. And then how I smoke, because I've grown a tolerance, obviously, because I have a problem with my
Yeah.
consumption. But I will not dab anymore, dude. How many scars do you need before you stop, right?
Yeah.
So I use flour and
Hmm.
then a little bit of concentrate and then flour on top of it, because the concentrate on top without the flour on top of the concentrate will just like smoke too fast, and then I don't get to fully burn the concentrate before I burn the bowl, like the
Yeah.
bowl sucks through. So then when I sandwich it, then like the top part allows the concentrate to heat up without it burning, so it melts better and then it lasts longer and that's stronger. So
One of my favorite sandwiches, honestly.
yeah, I didn't even know, dude. I didn't even know it was a thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, that sandwiches are the way to go.
Yeah.
So
Flour, hash, flour, done. It is so good.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that
I'm
is
I'm a
where
big
I'm at.
fan.
Okay, cool.
As far as like strains go though, like what kind of strains do you usually reach for?
So like, you know that Kendrick Lamar song "Be Humble"?
Yeah.
And it's like, hold up, sit down, be humble. I thought he was saying "mi amo" for so long, and I'm like, why "mi amo"? Like, what the fuck? But anyways, I've been thinking about doing my own segment called "The Humble Stoner" because
Oh.
I'm broke, dude. So what's my favorite? It doesn't fucking matter because I can't afford it anyways.
Yeah.
And you know what? With packaging and shit, like I teach people in my class, disregard all packaging and marketing. All that matters is the flavor and if it works for you. And that's it. Like, that's literally it, because the rest is like up for whatever, you know? I think it really is like more placebo effect marketing than anything. So I just buy the fucking cheapest eighth of like smalls, or like I've gotten, I mean, my birthday, I got the gnarliest shit I've ever seen in my life, but then I just put some hash on it and was like, fuck it, you know?
You're still got
So,
high, right?
yeah, what are my favorites? Like, I'm old school. Bubba, like pre 98 Bubba. Back in the
Yeah.
day, there was Master Kush. It was like this menthol meat type of flavor, like, or Hindu Kush. It was like this weird smell, but
Ooh, we got some Hindu on my shelf right now.
oh my God, they tasted so good. I really like that. I like the OG, like citrus skunkiness. I
Totally.
hate Jack Herrera. I fucking hate that flavor. That's terpenoline, super
Yeah.
gross. So I don't like any of the hazes. Ooh, I love cheese ones because they're like mentholy tasting when you
Yes,
smoke
I
them.
love cheese. Cheese is one of
Yeah,
my
cheese
favorites.
are bomb. And I mean, back in the day, there used to be perps, and it was like
Mhm.
black popcorn nugs with orange hairs. And the
Yeah.
flavor was this like deep purple lusciousness that I miss. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I have had some purples lately that reminded me of it, kind of. But
Yeah.
I'm old school, dude. I smoke whatever people give me.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at, bro. Like, I don't. And even if I had the money, I wouldn't fucking buy weed. Because, dude, I put 17 years into this career. Why am I still buying weed? Like, I
True.
even said, like, I was on the Young Turks, and I was like, yo, after being in the industry this long, if I had to buy weed, obviously I failed somewhere in my career. Well,
Yeah.
here I am,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways. And appreciate the free weed while it lasts, my friends. Like, if you work in
100%.
the industry, you have no idea how lucky you are to have free shit.
Yeah. It is, I will say it's very nice. It's one of the perks of being a bud tender out here is that I get free
Exactly.
samples
Yeah, bartender
all the
life.
time. It
I miss
is
those
very
days.
nice. But it comes
Yeah.
with a lot of downfalls too.
Oh, I
So,
agree.
yeah,
I agree.
100%. But yeah, both you and it looks like Mitch as well is on the fuck Jack
Yeah.
Herrera
Fuck,
train,
fuck
which is so funny. I
terpeneline.
know so many people who hate it, but terpinolene is one of my preferred and one of my favorites.
I
And
think it's like people either love or hate cilantro. It's
yes,
like one of those things. So I think
yeah.
terpeneline is another one of those, like, love it or hate it. There's no in between.
100%. And I think that's one of the only one of the terpenes that I've found that people really have like either they love it or have a really adverse reaction to it, which is
Yeah.
interesting to see. But it's been kind of interesting as well as a bud tender, just seeing like the way that people's like consumption habits have changed with more and more information about the terpenes coming out as well. It's
Well,
been interesting to see.
I would like to know about that because I was a bud tender, managed a dispensary for 5 years in 2005. Like,
Yes.
there was not any information. And I told everyone sativa, indica, whatever. And it wasn't until 4 years later when I learned it was terpenes or whatever. And that was
Hmm.
2016.
Yeah.
And when I would challenge people, it was like it was like when I lost my religion. It's like
Hmm.
a religion at this point of sativa, indica, whatever. And
Yeah.
so I've always wondered now for you guys, if the brands don't stop fucking using it for marketing, how do you get to the consumers? Are they learning? Does it matter?
People are definitely like at my store, we have a really loyal customer base that have been like I have some customers I've been working with for 4 years now.
Oh, nice.
And so it's been a long term progression. But more and more conversations are being had about it. So people come in and they never know anything about it except for that that's what everybody is talking about. Basically, they're like, I heard it's like this terpene or something like that, right? And so they're really like the general public, I feel like, is just starting to become aware with it. But a lot of our loyal customers, we've just broken them down so much to where we're like, don't think of it this way. Think of it more like a spectrum kind of a thing. And we still use sativa indica hybrid. That's what they put on the packaging. But
Yeah.
my coworkers and we blatantly tell them, don't listen to the packaging.
I
Disregard
mean,
100%.
you guys need my sativa indica is lazy marketing t-shirts. Like,
Yes.
there are so many of my t-shirts that I hit
Yes.
a fan on a trash can and it almost fell over. But there are so many t-shirts that I think would be like so perfect for bud tenders that make
Yes.
people ask questions and be
Yeah.
like, what do you mean it's lazy marketing? And I have thought about this so much and had this conversation with so many people. Like, how can we make this as easy as possible for the general public? Because the chemistry, the more I learn, the less it makes sense. Like, and in
Mhm.
the end, all of the research about terpenes is fucking irrelevant when you smoke it because none of the research is about smoking it. So
Right.
it's like the more you learn, the less you know, the less confident you are. Then you go to a store and you're seeing incorrect shit. And
Yeah.
also, you have new information. And I've seen people's like, they look like, when I don't understand something, I swear it looks like my eyes are filling with water because I feel like I'm drowning in my brain.
Yeah.
And I've seen people drown in my class, and I'm like, here's the facts. Everything is bullshit. It's all marketing. All that
Mhm.
matters, like, pay attention to how it smells, like whatever it reminds you of, like, pay attention because so many people are like, oh, what does this do? What does this do? I want it for this. And I guarantee they just get high and they forget that they're even using it for something,
Yeah.
because that's how weed works, you know?
Yeah.
So my thing is like, just start to learn the smells. Is it sweet? Is it spicy? Is it like woody or whatever? That's like the one thing almost everyone can agree on. And
Yes.
then just look for any kind of strain with that type of flavor profile. Like figure
Hmm.
out the flavors you like and then just buy by the flavor. Fuck the name, fuck the lab results. It doesn't matter. You know this flavor works for you.
Yeah.
And that's about it, dude, because everything else, it's like, well, is the lab even good? Is the lab testing correctly? Like, oh, well, the lab said this, but this lab said this. So it's the more
Yeah.
information, the more confusing I feel it is for people.
100%. And we've seen
But
labs falsifying results as well. And
exactly.
we've seen a lot of people just like trying to put emphasis on certain things, like especially like one or two terpenes on their packaging instead of like the broad spectrum of everything. And that's, I think, also the problem with just looking at THC or just looking at CBD as well on those labels, is that it's not telling you a lot of the other things that are in there. But
Yeah.
that's basically what we've boiled it down to for our customers, is like follow your
Nice.
nose. What smells good
Yeah.
to you is going to smoke good to you, and you're going to
Your
like,
nose knows more
yeah,
than you know. Yeah.
exactly.
I just saw someone saying break down terpenes.
Yeah.
For whoever is listening, terpenes are the flavor molecules of nature, and they are the basis of aromatherapy,
Hmm.
because essentially what an essential oil is the terpene profile extracted from the plant. And a lot of aromatherapy is based off of how the scent impacts people. But one thing that I found really interesting is that our sense of smell is directly connected to our sense of memory and our emotional centers. And that's why you can pick up a scent that like can take you back to somewhere. And you have
Hmm.
like this whole like connection because you might have had like an emotional experience in a lilac scented room or some shit. And
Yeah.
that will imprint on you. And if you think of it that way, then we all have a personal relationship with a scent. It doesn't necessarily equate to a universal thing. However, linalool, which is the main terpene found in lavender and cilantro, is known, has studies that are proven that just by smelling it, it can have an anxiolytic effect,
Mhm.
anti-anxiety effect. They have an actual prescription of that terpene for anxiety. So it's very potent and there's actual science behind it, but all of that kind of goes out the door when you fucking burn it
Yeah.
because chemicals change with heat. And that's
Yes.
why I feel, oh my God, like I'm just realizing I'm almost coming around full circle because I have another t-shirt that says skip the sales pitch, show me the lab
Yeah.
results. But if you can't trust the labs, then fuck the lab results, right?
Right.
And if you can't trust the packaging, like what does it even matter? Like, and if what you learn about terpenes is irrelevant to lighting them on fire and inhaling them, what does that matter either? So
Yeah.
maybe the more information we give people, the more confusing it is, because all anyone wants to know when they buy weed is what does it do? And
Yeah.
guess what? It fucking depends on you, man. What are you on? What is your personality? What is your environment? Like, it's
Yeah.
literally could be different every time. And I realized as a bud tender that people would feel whatever I told them. I had that like white coat effect where they trusted
Yeah.
me, I believed me, and I made people feel how they wanted to feel. But if I didn't tell them that, and if packaging didn't call itself bliss or whatever, is
Yeah.
that what people would feel? So here's my idea. Like, I wish a dispensary would do this. Maybe you could, or someone who's listening. I would love to have like a 4-pack of like 1 gram nugs that are no, like no marketing, just the required packaging, like warnings and stuff on it, labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's
Hmm.
it. And that's what first time consumers get, is this 4-pack. And then you send them
Interesting.
home with a journal, and you're like, what does it smell like? What does it taste like? How did you feel? No, 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 right?
Yeah.
And then you have them come back and tell you, this is the what I like number 4 and like blah blah blah. Then you show them the lab results. And like no like marketing bullshit. Just like,
No.
all right, so now that we've figured out that maybe you're more into like myrcene or linalool, then like we can recommend these based on that.
Amazing.
And
Yeah.
then there's no like influence. But then here's the other problem with that is like if placebo effect works, then is that a problem? Because it fucking works. So like isn't that the point?
Yeah.
So, like honestly, dude, it's a complex situation
It
because
really is.
the more you learn, the less you know, and then you're like, oh shit, we really don't know anything, and we really don't. Like
Yeah.
even, I mean, Dr. Raphael Michulam, he's like 80 something.
Yeah.
Like he's been studying weed forever, and we're still like 4% knowledge of it.
Right.
So, anyone, I try to tell people like get uncomfortable with not knowing. Just like you can't know, dude. Just get over it and like enjoy it. I mean, you're a fucking weed smoker.
Yeah.
Chill.
And you're able to come in and buy it legally and consume it. So
Yeah.
just be happy.
Yeah, just do it at home or something. But yeah, I
I
think that would be great if that would
yeah.
happen.
I am super down to get rid of a lot of the marketing out of it, a lot of the directional marketing, I should say, at
The
least.
thing is companies can't. They can't
No.
do that because consumers want to know what they're going to feel, and there
Right.
we are.
Yeah.
So, like, I want sativa indica gone from
Yeah.
dispensary packaging, but that's all consumers know. And so I
Yeah.
hear, from companies, they're like, well, that's great and all, but like that's not what consumers know. We're selling
Yeah.
to consumers, and marketing is all, I mean, isn't that like the definition of marketing is selling you a story, it's selling you a
Yeah.
feeling and a whatever. It's like building a relationship with that product. So
Yeah.
you can't sell cannabis without marketing. So it's like impossible. But in a dream world where logic reigns, etc., I
Yeah.
think it would be very smart and very interesting to see if first time consumers got unmarketable shit and like just went that route and then saw if it worked better.
Yeah, I am down to try this experiment out. Just let me know. Let's make this happen.
Okay.
Because I'm down to run that and do some research on this because it would definitely be very telling what the consumer would say
Yeah.
when they do that. So
Because wouldn't
I'm
it be interesting if what they felt was like the opposite of how it was marketed?
Yeah, 100%. And
Right?
that would dispel so many things and be able to say, see, like, this isn't like, it takes me back to like, some of the first bags that I bought and why I fell in love with the plant. Because when I first smoked it, I had nobody telling me it was going to do this, it was going to do that, it was going to do this. What I had was that feeling inside of me when I smoked it and how I felt then, and knowing that my body felt more right at that moment. I didn't
Yeah.
care what it was. I don't even know what it was to this day that I smoked, you know what I mean? But I can
Yes.
still smell it out to this day through the bags that I buy, through the weed that I try and everything. I can still sometimes pinpoint those strains or those smells that I had back in the day potentially,
It's like that
that
emotional memory.
right, 100%. And just
Yeah.
going back to the memories of it and the way that I felt then, it's a powerful thing. But I think you're right. And if we continue to market it to death and try and force these little boxes for all of these different cultivars to be in and these little effect profiles or whatever, I think it's just going to lose its whole meaning and its whole purpose
Unless
eventually.
people don't care.
True.
And I'm 38 and I have realized that most people don't care. And I cannot care for everyone to care. So
Yeah.
I am now like balancing it out and recognizing that you can't like force someone to learn something, but you
Yeah.
can put education out there and you can point them to it. And if they
Yeah.
want to learn, then they will. And if they
Yeah.
don't, then it's not my problem. But
Yeah.
I used to get so angry. And at
Yeah.
this point, I'm like, dude, I'm just going to keep pushing forward and doing what I can. And
Yeah.
like, what else can you do, you know?
Right. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out your company, Cynical Stoner, and all the clothes that you put out and shit, because those are beautiful for
Thank you.
sparking these conversations. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the domain Cynical Stoner came from when I was a bud tender, and I felt like people were so out of touch. And so I made a website that was a news aggregator and had documentaries on like how big pharma spends more on direct to consumer advertising than their research and other things like
Yeah.
that, and like where to get social services, etc. And then I let it go defunct. And then when I started making snarky t-shirts, I was like, ooh, Cynical Stoner, like let's bring it back. Like so perfect, because I think it only takes about 6 months for anyone in the industry to become a cynical stoner. And then I've got t-shirts for you, like lots
Yeah.
of them. So like one of my t-shirts is like, I spent my life savings starting a legal cannabis company, and all I have left is this sweatshirt and a bunch of event lanyards,
Yeah.
you know? It hits because it's true.
Uh-huh.
I'm one of them. I mean, I didn't try to start a legal cannabis business, but I have no money, so
Yeah.
same. But like, or my bestseller is I made millions for a cannabis company, and all I got was this sweatshirt and a 30% discount.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so I just essentially like put what we all feel on t-shirts, and then you can say it without actually saying it, and that's
Yeah.
even better, you know.
Yeah.
And I have a t-shirt that says fuck 280e.
Yeah.
That no one knows what that is unless you're in cannabis, and that's cool because people in cannabis are like, oh shit, yeah, I'm fine with that shirt, and everyone else is like, what? I don't get it. Like,
Right. It's
and
an
yeah,
in the know thing.
it's snarky clothes for industry insiders,
Yeah.
essentially.
I
So
love
yeah,
it.
cynicalstoner.com.
Amazing.
Yeah,
One of the things, though, that was like one of the main things I wanted to talk about before we got started on all of that
I know I
was
told you I could go off.
no, it was wonderful. I absolutely love it. But for the sake of brevity in an interview, I want to hit everything here.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Bud for Blood campaign. Because this
Yes.
is such, when I saw that, I was like, hell yes.
It's so
I
cool.
am a big advocate for blood donation. I've given blood myself. I am O negative, so I'm a universal donor. They want my blood so bad because I can
Yeah.
just give it to everybody. Everybody can have my blood and be okay. And the
Yeah.
biggest thing that was always on when I talk about this with people, the biggest thing on people's mind is like, do they want my blood because it's pumped full of, weed? And that is something that was just so cool to see, is that you're advocating and bringing awareness to the fact that if you have weed in your system, you can still donate.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
I
So,
didn't even know.
yeah.
So it was actually when I donated blood the first time, and I had learned that I could.
Yeah.
And then I posted on LinkedIn. Then Bill Levers from Beard Bros was like, "Oh, I thought you couldn't donate if you used cannabis."
Right.
And then it hit me like, dude, I bet everyone thinks that. And then, like, just being a sucker for puns and rhyming, I'm like, bleed rhymes with weed? Like,
Mhm.
coincidence? I think not. And then, like, stoners would make such great donors. And then Diana came up with Bud for Blood, because in the beginning it was like, how can I get dispensaries to give weed to people with proof of blood donation? But on a national level, that's not possible. That's difficult. So I decided to go with just an online campaign to tell people to donate blood anywhere that they are. No association with blood banks necessary. And so from May 10th to August, I'm going to say till now, because I'm going to count the people who've donated since then, there's been 51 donors
Amazing.
in 27 states and 4 countries. And several of the donors have already donated again, if not multiple times, because there's a couple platelet donors. And so the total, like one donation can save up to 3 lives. And the last time I calculated like how many lives we saved was around 175.
Amazing.
So how fucking cool. And I sent a free hemp blend t-shirt that had the blood bag dude on the front that said hashtag Bud for Blood team member, and then the back said hashtag stoners make great donors with the logos of the sponsors. And like every day now I'm getting selfies of people in their t-shirts, and it's just like I found this family of exactly what I thought they would be, which is like stoners being the compassionate people that they are. Like,
Yeah.
it just makes so much sense. And I mean, I just connected with a blood bank life stream in Southern California. They found me because they were targeting dispensaries to do blood drives, and they came up with Bud for Blood for their t-shirts. And then they saw that I already did that. So they actually are going with Bleed for Weed, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
And they just hosted a blood drive at Captain Jack's dispensary in the Valley in Los Angeles. And
Amazing.
they shattered their records and had 124 donations in one day. And they said that like they had so many people wanting to donate, they had to triple the size of the like the staff and everything to be able
That's
to accommodate.
amazing.
And like I knew it. Like I had nothing to do with it, but I fucking knew it, man. I
Yeah.
knew that like stoners, cannabis consumers are a very diverse population, more diverse than the general population. There
Right.
are studies that show that we are nicer, more compassionate, more community driven. Most people are more health aware. A lot of medical cannabis consumers who have had to fight to get access to cannabis can understand not having access to blood. And then,
Yeah.
like, who isn't depressed and feeling kind of out of control right now? And I've never found a more direct, epic experience than just like being able to save people's lives with such a simple act. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I knew, like, I'm addicted to it. I knew people would also because there's not enough positivity happening right now. And so now, like, yeah, I'm a cynical stoner, but I have so my heart, I feel like the Grinch, like my heart has grown so big by seeing all of these companies want to get on board and people donating, and like I needed that. And now, like, yeah, it's just super magical to see
Yeah.
the goodness. That is why I started. That's why I've been in this
Right.
industry. This is
Yeah.
why I'm in this industry. It's our community. We actually have one. We're just
Yes.
poor. We're
Yes.
just, you know, but we'll show up to donate blood, like, you know?
If that doesn't wrap up the cannabis, like the legacy cannabis industry, I will say,
It's sad,
and I don't
dude.
know what does, because
Right.
everybody that I have known that has come from pre-legalization has always been just the nicest, most compassionate, and also like the most innovative and the most like, I don't know, ambitious to do things, but none of us have any money to do anything and to make
Right?
these things happen.
Yeah, so it's like a free opportunity to get fed snacks after the fact. And
Yeah,
then when you get the notification that your blood went to someone in a hospital, like I've woken up to those notifications. That's just incredible. Like,
it makes
what
my
an
day.
amazing opportunity. I don't
Yeah,
know why anyone wouldn't want to do that. And the more I talk about it and the longer this goes, the more people are doing it. And it's like spreading. And I'm convinced that stoners can solve the blood shortage because
yeah,
there's a lot of us, like a
yeah,
lot, all over the world, dude. Like we're
yeah.
everywhere. So
I feel like stoners can solve a lot of the world's issues in general, quite
yeah,
frankly. I think cannabis and hemp and just the people in this industry have a lot of the right mindsets to make a lot of good drastic changes for the world to be better, just
yeah,
all around. So
I agree.
I'm a big advocate for things like this. Do you
Yeah.
have any plans in the future to do more campaigns?
Oh yeah, no, totally. I'm starting a fall campaign. So my goal is to do a campaign every 2 months and then 1 month off to like catch up on stuff.
Yeah,
But what I would like to do is to get a bunch of cannabis companies to do online blood drive competitions where we
yeah,
have like 5 companies in a city I've got pre-made campaigns for them with all of the content they need to educate people. I'll administrate everything on the back end. If you just like, I just want companies to encourage their consumers to go donate blood. And then after 30 to 60 days, we'll have a get together like party with the 5 companies that competed and like have an announcement of how many lives were saved altogether. And then I want to give like a trophy to the company that saved the most lives. And the dope thing about this is it requires no participation from the blood banks because it
Right.
turns out they're afraid of losing their federal funding by being associated with cannabis. But that doesn't mean we can't flood their drives.
Right.
So I think making a competition adds some fun and a little push. And it's just good for the community, good
Yeah.
for the companies, good for the consumers.
Yeah.
Win win win. So no, I'm just getting started. Like this was a first time thing. Like I'm fully addicted to it now.
I love that. That is
Yeah,
such a it's
it's
such a
magic.
warming feeling doing
Mhm.
helpful things like that and pushing things forward. And I feel like doing things like this actually helps to normalize cannabis even further because it's showing the community that,
We are
consumers are
more than tax revenue.
right.
Right?
Yes.
Like, yeah, that's my other goal is that we are an asset to the medical community
Yeah.
despite them looking down on us. I feel like this is a way for us to show up and show that cannabis enables us to be there for a community. It's not
Yeah.
something holding us back. It's allowing us to be there. And and I think actions speak louder than words. And Blood for Blood is not about cannabis at all. Like, I'm not
Right.
out there talking about cannabis at all. It's about blood donations because we have
Right.
a severe blood shortage. It's just targeting cannabis consumers. But I think like this might be a good way to like form a bridge maybe
Yeah.
where they see that we're serious. Like we're here to support. Like if you call us, we're here. Don't
Yeah.
be scared. Like we're not drug dealers, you
Yeah.
know? So yeah, it's
Serious.
just a good way to like prove that we are more than the money you want from us,
Yeah.
essentially.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Can't even talk. But
I,
yes.
I dab brain, dude, I get it. I've been there, girl.
Yes, I love my dabs, and
I know
coming
they're
back
so
to the
delicious.
beginning of our
I
conversation,
know, I
I
get it.
100% agree with the fact that they are very addicting, and I do wake up in the morning and think about it, and have to just like tell myself no all the time. Like you cannot yet, you can't take a dab yet. You have to do things.
Are
You
you
have to be
successful at
productive.
that? Like if
Um,
you can actually prevent yourself, then you're way better off spot than I was because there
um,
was
you
no
know,
no.
I try. I try.
Yeah.
I've just gotten really good at being productive while high. And it usually ends up in me just doing like 3, 4 hours of like trying to be productive and work, and then I just crash a lot of the time. So,
Yeah.
I fight it. But if I go at least, I give myself at least 3 hours in the morning. If I can make it 3 hours before dabbing, I feel like I am going to have a great day.
As long as you're productive. I was not I would like I'd be like, let's see how high I can get and then challenge myself to do stuff. And I would not do shit. I would just stay in bed all day. Like
Yeah,
that's the problem. That's
yeah,
why, yeah, it just tastes so good, dude. Like,
yeah. A
yeah,
100% agree.
yeah.
Well, this has been an amazing conversation here.
Yeah, thanks for
Um,
having me.
and yeah, thank you for joining me. And I'm looking forward to seeing some more of your campaigns in the future and just connecting with
Totally.
you a little bit further. Because I'm all about the women in the industry and just pushing forward and continuing to do dope shit all the time, constantly. So
Awesome. Well,
yeah.
go donate blood and I'll send you a t-shirt.
Hell yes, yes. And all y'all out there too, do the same thing. Go
Do it.
donate blood.
Be a
For real.
hero. And I
Yeah,
know you are because stoners make great donors. That's just a fact.
that's right. Absolutely. So go do that. Go donate blood. Go check out Cynical Stoner. Get you some t-shirts as well. They're fantastic. I definitely need to go cop a couple that I was checking out earlier as well. So y'all go do that and then follow her as well. I got her handles down here on the bottom of the screen for you to go check her out and follow everything that Kristen does. So again, thank you so much
Yeah,
for joining
thank
me.
you.
It's been season 2 of the Higher Women podcast, and I will be back next week with another guest and some more conversations about cannabis. So I'll see y'all later. Thank y'all